What up? It's Jimmy from odds.com. This is a clip from the big NHL show. If you want to check out the entire show, hit the link on the bottom of the page. It's available exclusively on odds.com. 7 p.m. Eastern for Dallas Stars at Columbus Blue Jackets. Those of you who saw my action 2 nights ago know that I backed the Blue Jackets on the -1 line and the first period, which were losers, but I also backed them on the team total over 2.5, which was a casher, which kind of limited the damage. And yes, I am going back to the well. Columbus opened up at -105. They're still there at a couple books, but most of the books have moved this into quite a decent underdog spot for Columbus. They are now between -105 and +110 at some books. Money coming in on the Dallas Stars. The Dallas Stars are playing good hockey. But we just watched them lose 2 games, and I'm talking about Dallas now, to Carolina to start off this road trip. They played very well on Tuesday night against the Jackets in a 6-3 win. And I was surprised how public of a bet the Dallas Stars were. I thought that more people would be excited about the addition of Laine to the Blue Jackets lineup, and that didn't come to fruition. We had like 75% of the money and tickets on Dallas, and it seems like that is happening here again. So I'm making 3 moves on this game, and one will be the Jackets -1. But there's no rush for me. The puck line is not available right now. But even that money line, there's no rush for you to get in on it. Money's coming in on the Dallas Stars, so just sit back and wait. What there is a rush to get in on that I've already bet is the over 5 -130. Get on that. Now, I don't bet anything in NHL over a -135 juice. And -130 is cutting it pretty close. But this is a market mistake on this Blue Jackets team. They're nothing like they were last year. They have so much more offense and so much less defensive accountability from their forwards. So I'm going right back to the team total over 2.5. I got -120 on this spot 2 nights ago. I'm curious to see what I'll get. And I wouldn't hate turning it into a 3 for a plus money score. And I'll again make that decision when the market is available. But I will be moving on 3 different spots. I've already moved on the over 5 -130. I will be moving on the Jackets -1, and I will be moving on the Jackets team total at either 2.5 or 3. Let's break this game down. Dallas Stars 5-1-1. 1-1-1 on the road. Blue Jackets 4-4-3, 2-1-2 at home. We're at Nationwide Arena in Columbus, Ohio. We expect Anton Khudobin to be between the pipes. 3-1-1 on the season, 2.17 goals against, average .922 save percentage, 1 shutout. Jonas Korpisalo started in that game 2 nights ago, and he was getting lit up immediately. He was getting touched immediately, and it shocked me that Torts let him in. I thought surely after Dallas Stars scored that 4th goal, Torts would hook him, and he's so quick on that hook, and he's often too quick, and he left Korpisalo in there. 5th goal comes in, and then he brings in Elvis Merzlikins. Jonas Korpisalo has been fine this year. 2-2-2, 2.83 goals against, average .918 save percentage. But I'm not sold on him. And are we going to give Elvis Merzlikins more of an opportunity? That's the question. He's 2-2-1, 2.76 goals against, average .913 save percentage. The Stars' special teams have been excellent. Their power play has been absolutely spectacular. What an incredible signing of little Joe Pavelski over a year ago. Not only does he create accountability, because we know that the Dallas star players, I should say, in Jamie Benn and Tyler Seguin have often not had that accountability. This is for a long time not being a team you could trust. You didn't trust them early in the season. You didn't trust them after an all-star break. You didn't trust them. There were so many situations where you wouldn't trust them. And one of them was at the end of a road trip, when I often thought that Ben and Seguin just wanted to go get home. Little Joe has changed that. What else has he changed? This power play. Now, his arrival came with the incredible play of Heiskanen. They're very young defenseman, very high draft pick. They already have Klingberg, who's a spectacular power play defenseman. Now you got Heiskanen and Klingberg back there. There's maybe across the rink with Seth Jones and Zach Werenski, is there a better power play defensive pair? But I don't know if they are. The Klingberg and Heiskanen are spectacular, and I've really fallen in love with young Heiskanen. The Stars' power play is at 40.6%. That's outstanding. It can't possibly stay up there. Or can it? I just don't see it staying up there. Their penalty killing 78.1%. Good enough and probably will improve. The Jackets power play has been terrible all year, 13.8% power play. The market remembers this Jackets team as having a terrible power play. Patrick Laine will change that. He will change that. Their penalty killing is at 80%. They've always had strong penalty killing. Start with the Stars. So after losing those 2 games at Carolina to start this 4-game road trip, they got right on Tuesday in a 6-3 win over these Jackets. Little Joe, 2 goals, 2 assists. He has 7 goals and 7 assists on the season. So 14 points here in 7 games for little Joe Pavelski. And to think another bonehead move by Doug Wilson. What a terrible GM he is over in San Jose to think that little Joe was done. I can't believe Wilson still has his job. Guy would have been long gone if I was in charge of that franchise. Jamie Benn had a big game with 1 goal and 2 assists. He's an important piece. You need him focused. You need him rolling. Dallas outshot the Jackets 33-26. They beat them in the faceoff circle 31-24, and they were clearly the better team. It did not look like the Stars missed Tyler Seguin at all. Their first line of Rupi Hintz between Jamie Benn and Alexander Radulov is strong, and it's very strong. Even though the Corsi numbers don't show that, the Corsi numbers have this as the 20th best first line in the NHL, and they're better than that from the eye test. But you have to use both the eye test and the Corsi numbers. Joe Pavelski's carrying that second line, Jason Dickinson and Dennis Gurianov. Their top 4 D-men are very strong. And I've already talked about my love of Klimberg and Heiskanen. You have Esa Lindell playing with Klimberg on that first unit. Then you have Heiskanen and Jamie Oleksiak on the second unit. So Klingberg is the number 7 ranked right defenseman in the NHL. Heiskanen is the number 9 ranked defenseman, or left defenseman, in the NHL. And separating them keeps one stud on the ice at all times. This is much to my chagrin, something I hate saying. Dallas Stars team is a good hockey team, but I am fading them here. Columbus's first game with Patrick Laine on the ice did not go well. He led the team with 20 minutes and 54 seconds of playing time. He was a -2. He only had 2 shots on goal. He had a penalty called on him. He drew a penalty. He needs to draw more. His legs looked heavy. He was breathing heavy. He said that his head wasn't right. And just the last game he played was the first game of the season. He scored 2 goals in that game for the Jets. Then he got hurt. Then he got traded. And then he had to get the visa papers to work in the States. He also had to be quarantined for 7 days. It was very complicated. This should be a very dangerous line of Laine, Texier, and Atkinson. And they have depth now. That second line, Boone Jenner, Roslovic, and Oliver Bjorkstrand. Nice second unit. I guess there's no real difference between the second unit and the third unit the way I see it. And the third unit probably has more to offer than the second unit. But that's what I mean about depth. This third line, Mikhail Grigorenko, Nick Foligno, their captain, and Max Domi on the third unit. And it just seems like wherever Max Domi goes, losing follows. But I like this hockey team. I'd sure like it better if Josh Anderson was still on this team. But he was traded for Domi. The key thing here is this isn't last year's Jackets. The market is not caught up in how offensive this team is going to be. Torts is going to keep a tight rope. He's going to keep them playing defensive. 5? You're going to give us a 5 in Columbus Blue Jacket games? And clearly, on Tuesday, I should have taken the full game over. Instead, I just took the Jackets team total over. But this team is going to score goals. And with Laine, Domi, this team is not going to be accountable defensively. We're going to hammer overs. Overs all year long. And by the end of the season, there won't be 5s and there won't be 5.5s. But you'll see 6s. You'll even see 6.5s. That's how wrong I think the market is on the offense of Columbus Blue Jackets. That is game 1. 3 moves. One I've already bet. I've already bet the over 5 at -130. Next up is that team total over 2.5. Again, I might go for a score and put it at 3. I might, depending on the juice. And on Tuesday night, I got the team total over 2.5 -120. And then the Jackets -1. That will be a big juicy score. That'll be easily over +200.